Today we're going to look at a simple 30-minute practice routine. You know, if you're like most people, practicing is something that you don't have really unlimited time for, so you want to make the most of every minute. But there are so many things that need to be covered to improve on, so where do you start? Well, some people get overwhelmed at everything they know they should practice, and they end up really just noodling with their guitar while watching TV on the couch for an hour. While this may be relaxing, it's not really getting you any closer to your dream of being a better guitar player. So I wanted to talk about a few things that can make the precious time that you have available with your instrument as productive as it can be. You know, establishing a practice routine is one of the best things that you can do for your guitar learning. The reason is that you just get so much more footing under you if you visit your guitar regularly, rather than in a little bit here, a little bit there. But many people just don't know where to start when it comes to building that routine of practice. Questions like, what should I practice? Or how long should I practice are common themes. Well, here are my best guidelines for building a regular 30-minute practice time. Keep in mind that everyone is different, so feel free to vary this to meet your preferences and your learning style and what you want to accomplish. All right, so let's get started. In my experience, there are 4 important sections to a good practice session: warm-up, technique practice, song practice, and then just creative time, kind of a free play time. So here's a good sample 30-minute practice session. First 5 minutes, warm up. And that's when you want to get your muscles ready to do the job that they need to do. Playing guitar is a physical activity, and we need to stretch out our muscles. So the first 5 minutes devote to getting your muscles ready to work. This is a time to get the fingers and the muscles stretched and moving. You can do hand and finger stretches. You know, I give some finger exercises in session 1 of Learn and Master Guitar. I also give several finger exercises in the finger flexibility foundation lesson. And even I gave you a 10-minute power workout on finger flexibility issues as well. So the first 5 minutes, take some time to stretch out your hands. So much of what we wrestle with has to do with physical issues of not having our hand flexible enough. All right, that's the first 5 minutes. The next 10 minutes should be technique practice. Think of this as you're becoming a better guitar player in general. So whatever technical issues you may be currently working on, you know, this is the time where you're doing scales. You're doing pentatonic scale exercises or major scales or whatever the technique skill that you're working on. You're doing chord exercises. You're learning about theory. You're understanding soloing, things like that. You're becoming a better musician, a better guitar player. Spend 10 minutes of our 30-minute practice time on technique issues, becoming a better musician. All right, we're halfway through. The next 10 minutes, you need to devote all of that technique that we have gone through into some song practice. The next 10 minutes is song practice, applying the technique that you've learned to a song. You want to work on a song. So if you have a couple of tunes that you're working on or a couple of songs that you would like to learn, now's the time where you put that into action. You know, technique means nothing until you can use it in a song. It doesn't matter how fast you can do your scales or how fast you can do your pentatonic licks and all that sort of stuff. If you can't use it in a song, it's useless to you. So a portion of your time, a significant portion of your time, should be working on songs. When you get together with other people, they don't want to hear scales. They want to hear songs. So at least spend at least good 10 minutes working on songs that you happen to be going through at that point. Now, the last 5 minutes is a very important part of it as well. This one I call creative free play. It's just exploring on your guitar. For these last 5 minutes of your 30-minute practice time, put away the books and just all your exercises and things like that, and just explore creatively on your instrument. This is so important. It develops your ear. It develops your intuition for which note you should go to and which note is not going to sound as well. Okay? So as I'm experimenting, as I'm playing with the instrument, just kind of take a finger pattern and you think, well, gosh, I wonder if I did that, if I moved each one of these chord tones maybe up a step, what would that get me? And then just let your mind explore. If you find a good chord form that you like, see if you can replicate that on another set of strings. Or if you have one finger pattern that you like, well, I wonder if I could play that up an octave. I wonder if I could play that on every string set. All of these little ideas of exploring your instrument are so important. This is where you do improvisation stuff. You work with a jam track, or you make up melodies on your own. This is where you maybe explore variations of a chord or an idea, see if you can play it in different parts of the instrument. All of these are very important aspects of being creative on your instrument. Just play. Put away your stuff and just play. This develops all sorts of great musical things in you. And without that last 5 minutes, you may become a great technician, you may be a great player technically, but you won't have that musicality. You won't be able to create anything because you don't have enough practice in that. Well, there you go. I found these 4 sections. The first 5 minutes, finger flexibility. Next 10 minutes, technique practice. Next 10 minutes, song practice. And the last 5 minutes of being creative on your instrument. I found that these 4 sections are vital to a good, healthy practice routine for the long haul. Now, if you don't know where to start, use these guidelines as a good place for you to start. Now, as I said, the best practice is regular and routine. You're going to accomplish more in a smaller daily practice time than one large practice time at the end of a week. You can be the guitar player that you want to be. Don't look for each practice session to be flashy and exciting. Some of them are going to be dry, but they're all doing their work. Real learning takes time, so relax and enjoy the journey that you're on. Hey, I'm Steve Krentz for Gibson Skills House, and I'll see you next time.